people want to watch it on their iPhone. It's
Oh,
Wow.
you're live.
Hello, 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 and hello, and happy Thanksgiving. This is Access Astrology. We are three astrologers who get together every week and have a look at the sky, have a look at the world around us, and see what makes sense one or the other.
mhm.
My name is Mark Waltz. I'm speaking to you from New York City, and I'm joined by my two colleagues, Anne.
I'm in Florida. We don't have the plant and we have the kitchen behind me. I'm in Florida. So I'm in Florida for the winter. I flew south 77 degrees today.
Oh,
I guess, and it is so not here in Montana. This is Heather Rowan Robbins speaking to you tonight from Ronan, Montana, and we're due to get a good snow tonight. It's been fairly clear. We have less snow than usual at this time of year, but it's definitely been below freezing every night. So enjoy that warmth for us, Anne.
I am. I was by
yeah.
the pool this afternoon. I was like,
Ah,
gotta get a little tan. I got this pale northern face. So yeah. And
you'll catch up.
I got the potatoes for the twice baked mashed potatoes, which is what I'm bringing to Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm ready to work.
Good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
So has anybody, we have a lot of charts to look at for tonight, Thanksgiving, Mercury turning direct. I have a great Mercury retrograde story from one of our listeners.
Mhm.
How has Mercury retrograde been treating both of you?
I left a lot of stuff I forgot to pack. I mean, I got here and I'm like, I forgot that. I forgot that. I mean, it's like, I don't know. So and I was planning things, so it was kind of
Hmm.
like, go back and redo a lot of redoing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark?
Just temporary losing things, keys, for example. So I had to call Eileen and say, "Would you look in the knapsack and see if the key is there? Because I'll come back and get it."
Mhm.
And she said, "You should check your pockets one more time, where
Uh-huh.
you are." And sure enough, it was hiding in the pocket.
In your pocket. Okay.
Yeah, it's the problem with winter. Suddenly having a
All
dozen
these
more
extra
pockets.
pockets.
Yeah. Layers of pockets where things can go hiding. Totally.
Yeah, Mercury
So
loves to play tricks with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the people we're going to be talking about tonight, Kim was another chart that we forgot. We're using Mercury retrograde to catch up on charts that we missed before. Or, I often will get four charts ready to go or three charts ready to go, and then we've only got time for two. And that sometimes that extra chart gets lost. So if I miss your chart and I've told you that you're on, please contact me again and resubmit your information, and we will get to you. We
It's
may not
around
get to
here
you
somewhere.
next Mercury retrograde, but we will
Yeah,
get to you.
It's called falling through the cracks.
Right.
yeah.
And at starcodes.heartcodes at gmail.com or hrowanrobbins at gmail.com. I get it set up for all of us.
Mhm.
So now
She's our boss and our astrological uh, computer coordinator.
I'm the commuter coordinator.
The
I'm
computer
not your boss. I'm just the coordinator.
Well,
So,
in terms of organizing what we're going to talk
right.
about. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
we get to weigh in. We're a
yes,
very
we do.
equal team, but Heather does a lot of the work, and Mark and I go, great. You're going to do the work, Heather.
Yep.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah.
how it's working these
It's
days.
her Aries moon. We bow to the Aries moon. That's the way
Uh,
I look at it. Right.
I'm glad to put it to use. And yeah, one of our clients, one of the people, John Smith, who sent in, been using that name for a while, says, is been living on Social Security disability, and sometimes the county helps pay the mortgage, and a friend often sends a contribution, a monthly stipend. So has been living, and that's how all the mortgage is paid. But at the end of October, the friend's bank sent the normal automatic check, and it never arrived there. So the county offered to help with the mortgage that month, and the money never got to the mortgage company, even though it was clearly sent by the county. A third, the friend finally wrote a replacement check and mailed it, and then it bounced because she'd sent it with an account that had closed. And so she has As the retrograde Mercury was sitting right on her Sagittarius sun. So now has been charged by a late fee by the mortgage company, the first late payment in his life. And the bank reversed the deposit of the bad check and charged a return fee. So that's a bad Mercury retrograde
Yeah.
story. Now, and
That
I
sounds
feel
like
for you.
three Mercury retrogrades.
Well,
Well, it
there
often
were three
comes in
people.
three. But, my daughter had an experience where she said three Mercury retrograde. She had three wrongs make a right is our Mercury retrograde. That she would have had to go for some blood tests. She went to the wrong place. They said, "Oh, we're closed for lunch for the next 2 hours. Can't take a walk in. Your appointment is at so and so." So they went over there and they said, "No, it's not here. It's at this third place." So they driving all Seattle traffic, driving all over the place, got to the new place, but they were fabulous there and was the best phlebotomist she's ever had. So that sometimes like things go wrong and then they come right. And that often look for the opportunity in the series of snafus. It's like quite
Is
possible.
Mercury making you go, oh, okay? I
Right.
can't tell you, a lot of clients this week and last week just missed the appointment, stuck somewhere, forgot time zone things. And
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like, it's okay with me. It's Mercury retrograde. I got a lot of stuff to catch up on. But they're
Exactly.
like, can I get back in? I'm like, yeah, we'll get you back in. And then somebody wrote, you were going to get me back in. I'm like, you're right. I forgot you. I'm sorry. It's just, remember
Right.
Mercury retrograde. Don't take it personally. Just double check because the person might not have heard you
Yeah.
or forgot you or
Confirm all. Yes.
Yeah, don't take it personally. It's
don't
probably in
take
your
it personally.
chart.
Ben. It's in your chart, right? Yeah.
Right.
It's not the astrologer. It's your chart. We're not reading
Not
my
you.
chart.
It's
No,
not
but
you, it's the
it's
sky.
a great time. I've known a printer once who closed down for all new business during Mercury retrograde and used it to catch up and repair and fix and clean and give people vacations. And I'm finding, this time, if we're going to use Mercury retrogrades to catch
Mhm.
up and on people that we might have missed or fell through the cracks
Go
or
through the
should have
cracks.
been done before. So
Yeah.
it's a good use of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that honoring that is really the best thing you can do. Talk to your ghosts. I mean, I heard from some people I hadn't talked to in a while. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, call the ghosts back, talk to them, find out what they want to say. And sometimes it's just a catch up because they were thinking about you, but it's definitely a Mercury retrograde. And because it's opposite Uranus, a lot of people are having like, wow, I realized something. There's a lot of shifting of
Yeah.
thought,
Sudden revelations.
sudden revelations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so honoring those, that's also part of this
Mm-hmm.
energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Cool.
And the Mercury and Venus forming a grand. They are conjunct at the moment,
Hmm.
retrograde, which is helpful. It adds a little bit of tact to Thanksgiving, and Lord knows we could need it with the rest of this chart. But they're in a grand trine with Mercury retrograde, Saturn and Neptune retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, all in water signs. So is a lot of old sadness coming up, or a lot of old feelings, or hopefully old stories.
Hmm.
And when on Thanksgiving itself, the moon will be in Pisces, goes in that middle of that afternoon.
Hmm.
And so, everybody's going to be feeling frank and out and investigative with the Scorpio and the Sagittarius. And our feelings are going to be very easily hurt. So just kind of notice that it's a great question, but do you need to ask it now in front of everybody? Like to be very gentle with that moon and Pisces energy for people this Thanksgiving, and deal with, I've lost three not close friends, but friends that were important at the periphery of my life this month. And I think there's a lot of old memories coming through for me on this. I'm hearing that from so many people that
Hmm.
have just lost someone in this Scorpio season, or are remembering people that are missing from
Hmm.
their lives. Have you noticed that, you too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pets too. A lot of pet croaking.
Mm,
Pets are Mercury, right? So a lot of people have lost the dog, the cat, the horse. Somebody's horse I know died. She
mm,
just went out and it was dead in the stall and was no warning.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's sudden unexpected because the Mercury and the Venus are opposite the Uranus, and the Uranus forms a kite. So if you look at the grand trine in water, you can see Uranus like has a kite forming off of it. which gives us it's a little right now it's a partial kite because Jupiter's a little wide. Although in my system I have wider orbs than you do, Heather. The Jupiter trines, as in a sextile to Uranus. So kites direct
I
us.
agree.
So it's directing us towards change, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And we might not like it. Yeah.
Mm.
Which is okay. I mean, that's, Venus in Scorpio is very passionate. And we also have Vesta out of bounds, which is always an interesting one when an asteroid's out of bounds. So Vesta's in Capricorn and answers to the Saturn in Pisces. So I've had a lot of people talking about people that passed. My cousin mailed me my aunt's memorial from February, So or from October last year. So she mailed them to me and I'm like, wow, okay, thanks. Why am I getting the memorial program? I mean, they're beautiful, but it's kind of like, making me think of, the dead relatives, basically. Yeah.
All those memory pieces coming up and coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the driving is really tricky with Mercury stationary. It doesn't have to always be tricky. There's Sagittarius energy is strong, but getting to Thanksgiving might be a little bit more tricky than getting back because Mercury turns direct on Saturday and Venus is joining the Sun and Mars in Sagittarius. So that might help traveling on Sunday. And Friendsgiving, if you want to split from the family and hang out with friends, Saturday night is a great night to be doing that with.
Yeah, Saturday night's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Right. And it'll be like, but your relatives that you just spent the week with may drive you crazy. So it's a great time to kind of drop everything and go meet old friends. One of the pieces that were, and Saturn is stationary and turning direct right on Thanksgiving. And you were mentioning that earlier. I mean, I see that as kind of bringing up all of the family structures of, who's the paterfamilias, what's the order, whose old recipes are we using, and some of that history and structure, as well as the the wonderful political stuff we can talk about in a minute. But tell me, what do you see with Saturn turning direct?
I always remember when Saturn, because he's been back and forth. So he was in May, and then he went back into Pisces the beginning of September 1st, and now he's going direct, and he's full steam ahead into Aries. So he danced in Aries a little June, July, and August, but now he's like, I'm committed. So where a lot of people have been feeling a little stalled, a little stuck, a little things aren't moving. Once the old boy gets going forward, we're going to launch like a rocket. So you're just going to really feel like, oh, wow, I'm going forward now. And of course, he rules our purpose, our karma, our work in the world. So you're going to look at where your natal Saturn is, what house he's in. And when Saturn turns direct, he says to your natal Saturn, it is time for you to get to work. So you're going to feel that Saturn pop. And I always like the retrogrades of the outer planets, not the personal planets. When they're retrograde, they're always just doing stuff, playing with us. But when the outer planets go direct, they really are intentional in launching that next chapter forward. So it's going to be good because right after Saturn goes direct, Jupiter's going to go direct. And then we're going to have Neptune go direct. So we're going to have all this. Actually, Jupiter went retrograde. Never mind. We're going to have Neptune go direct. We're going to have then Chiron go direct. Jupiter's retrograde till March. So there's a nice dance that we're having. We had this great idea to expand, and now Saturn's like, great idea. Let's go put some meat on the bones and do it. So big. You're going to really feel the energy shift, especially it's like a giant whirlpool with Venus and Mercury and Jupiter all involved in the whirlpool. So we have Venus trining Jupiter this week. We have her trining Saturn. We have her trining Neptune. And
that's a hell of a grand trine.
Hell of a grand trine, yeah.
With that bow and arrow to the Uranus.
With the bow and arrow to the Uranus. So it can also be, you can get, I got news about something and it, it really bothered me on some level. But then I was like, well, it is what it is. What are you going to do about it? And I think that's part of the answer is like, well, it is what it is. Should I be bothered by it? Yes, maybe. But at the same time, can I do anything about it? No. When it's that kind of thing, just put it in the pile. You're not supposed to do it.
And there's so many times I've been, my mate's been dealing with a board meeting after board meeting of a particular organization that Ren's part of. And I'm saying, could you guys just wait 5 more days? All this kind of circling will come clear and you'll understand each other so much better next week. Kind of, so there's a meeting scheduled for next week. But yeah, it's like take a break from this when if it gets balled up with this retrograde. And I'm seeing that with Saturn and with Mercury turning retrograde, but Saturn turning direct on Thanksgiving. If the present Saturn dynamics, like who's in charge, who's more senior, who's got authority or seniority in a situation, starts to feel jammed up, go farther back. Go to stories about when you were a kid. Pull out photo albums. Ask people what happened to them 30 years ago. Like go, whose recipes. Think about the grandma's recipes and where they came from, and kind of go farther back, or work on creating memories for the far future rather than in the present moment is where things may jam up. And I'm saying now, notice that on this day, everything is in fire and water, very little earth and air in the sky right now. And
Yeah.
that jamming up can feel really, so it's going to be a little steamy, all that fire and water, a little steamy. We have to add the
Raining
communication,
too. Raining too. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of stormy weather, um, and we have to add the practicality, the grounding, the earth.
Which is
So,
lots of turkey.
hmm
Get
hmm
your
Yeah.
trip. Get your tryptophan fix.
hmm
My uncle Cliff, who was a farmer when he was young, he grew up on a farm. He would watch us all lay out after Thanksgiving or Christmas and go,
hmm
pigs always sleep after they're fed. It was an Uncle Cliffism. He said it every year. You kind of go, oh, the tryptophan hit, man. I'm ready for my bed, ready for my nap. So, yeah. Mark, what do you think of the week ahead? You've been quiet. Heather and I talk all the time.
Yeah, I like the Venus Mercury
Mhm.
conjunction. And in Scorpio, neither one of them is very predictable in Scorpio. So they can play tricks on us. But they're good tricks, they're fun. Mercury's just being retrograde, but Venus is kind of playing in with that. So there's a little mischievous energy that we might feel closely through people that we're
hmm
connected with, all the Venus people in our lives. We get that special little trick that happens.
Now, here's when Mercury turns direct, and on Saturday, and while the moon will still be in Pisces, I find that when I'm in a family gathering and the moon's in Pisces, someone's got to cry. We might be like maudlin old sweet story, or just get our feelings hurt. Something happens. Someone's got to cry. It's just like, oh, there it is. My kids used to kind of poke me on Thanksgiving decades ago, like make her cry once because we got to get out of the way. But there was, um, and then we were fine. But so, in particular, in with the when it was the moon in Pisces. So this is on Saturday, and again, right before the moon goes into Aries that afternoon. We're going to be just feeling things deeply as Mercury turns direct. The things, when something stations, it's not easy like, oh, relief right away. It can often feel like swirling in place, like as you said, the whirlpools.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Uh,
And he's stationing, with the moon trapped there between Saturn and Neptune. She's like, I'm besieged. What's going on here? And then she trines the Mercury Venus. So, and Sun's on a world point in Sag, so it's a little volatile. And
mm-hmm,
because it's answering to Jupiter in Cancer is looking to that moon in Pisces, and and Jupiter in Cancer is not necessarily going to be able to hold it together. So just recognize that Sun and the Mars and the Juno are all in water, and that would also say careful about alcohol and drugs, because that Saturday night when the moon's in Aries and
and bad weather.
and bad weather,
yeah,
just kind of be aware of the water and the flow and the ice. It's like an
Mm-hmm,
ice chart to me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think Venus will be perfecting its opposition to Uranus that night.
Yep.
And so that's where you like want to go talk to people you're not fed up with at the moment. Just maybe need a little fresh air, a little fresh mindset, have a Zoom call with people that are out of town, just kind of give yourself some social space.
Yeah. Hmm.
And on Monday, be ready to hit the ground running on Monday,
Yeah.
because Mercury's direct, Saturn's direct, and they've been retrograde all of November. So things that you put on hold at the end of October now are like, and you're on. So, the moon will be in Aries. We've got, I think, Venus has gone into Sagittarius. We've got a real forward motion that we're not seeing now. And so, kind of think, what do you want to put your energy into? Make sure that you assess where everybody is, because it's changed in a month.
Yeah.
Assess what's going on and then get ready to roll.
Mhm.
Any comments on what you suggest they should do with that time?
Yeah, look at what's in your shopping cart. You probably got a bunch of stuff in there that you couldn't quite decide about.
Yeah.
And come Monday,
You may look, don't
you'll
need any
know
of it.
which things. Yeah,
Delete,
you
delete,
need to drop a bunch of them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Do I really need that? Delete, delete, delete.
Right, right.
Good
Yeah,
day for a
don't.
trip. Good day for a trip to Goodwill too, right? Because we have
Mm-hmm.
the Black
yeah.
Friday where we buy things, and then this is like, I don't need it. So I've been gathering with my stuff here in Florida. I've been putting together. My cousin works for an animal shelter,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
they have a thrift lodge, a thrift store. So I've been putting in things. You see the little cans on the back of the stove; those are going. And I've been kind of gathering stuff to send her home with the box,
Wonderful.
on Thanksgiving, and then it'll go to the store, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay." The
That's
stuff has
lovely.
been released into new hands. Yeah, which is
So
good.
this
No
is,
cause.
Yeah.
here is Kim, who should have been on a few weeks ago and we didn't, and
Right.
got lost in the
Sorry,
shuffle.
Kim. We got
I'm
you
sorry,
back. We
Kim.
got you back. It's good.
Moon and Cancer, I'm glad you know that we don't not love you. Um, there for that. And Sagittarius rising. And I didn't have any particular questions. I think she just wants, like, what is our take on what's going on? This hardworking Venus and Virgo trine Saturn person, with Venus coming to conjunct Pluto when she was born. It's learning to have more faith in her life and more faith in the people around her and a more faith in herself over time. It
Mhm.
feels like, because that Venus Pluto applied to conjunct when she was what, 5 years old,
Yeah. Mhm.
probably.
Yeah.
So
I
so
think the thing to remember, Kim, when I look at a chart like yours, is you don't have any planets in houses 1, 2, 3. So you're not in charge of driving your car. Other people invite you along and you go, oh, okay, that looks good. When you have planets in 1, 2, 3, they're running things.
and her moon and
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 the moon.
sun over here in this
Yeah.
quadrant.
Yeah. So it's a chart that gets invited. So that can make it a little frustrating because your North Node's in Pisces and it's like, am I being invited? So when we have the eclipses that are coming in the spring, they're going to be right on your nodes. So that'll be very helpful for you because then the nodes are going to be going through your
Hmm.
third house, your second house, your first house. So you'll have a little more control over what's going on. You also just had your second lunar return, progressed
Hmm.
progressed lunation with your progressed moon on your natal moon in Cancer. So that also 10 months ago was a new emotional awakening for you. And now with your progressed sun in Libra, it's going to be
Yeah,
very,
just on. Hmm.
yeah, it's going to be very stimulated by that Saturn Neptune. It got stimulated this summer, and it's going to be very stimulated when Saturn and Neptune get to Aries and oppose it and say, okay, let's go.
February, March.
You're
Hmm.
leaving behind the 30 years you were just doing Virgo stuff for. So
Hmm.
watch for new invitations coming in
Hmm.
as that happens, and also you're having this progressed sun is trining Pluto in the sky. So this is also a lot of new thinking for you, new ways of thinking about stuff. So, Mark, what do
Yeah,
you see?
Yeah, and every so often you tune into that Sun Mars conjunction in Leo, and it's really powerful. So you take advantage of all the things that you've been invited along on, and
Hmm.
just sort of taking notes. And then every so often you get to where the Sun Mars are activated, And it can surprise the people around you because suddenly you have something to do.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's often something that involves them so that they can follow your lead and go with it. So it's kind of a periodic thing, but you can watch for it.
Mhm.
You feel the urge to sort of take charge for a
Mhm.
little while, and it'll be some part of the project or the overall thing. And you'll see what needs to be done, and you'll do it.
Mhm. And it's interesting that we waited till now to talk about it because your sun is hitting the sun in the sky. It hits your ascendant this about this time every year, and that's often, for me, that's my true birthday is when my son's so deeply buried in the 12th house that I don't really feel it. It's my birthday until the sun hits my ascendant. And I find that when the sun hits our ascendant, it's a day for us to focus on ourselves and for us to be seen. So
Mm-hmm.
here we are talking about you as the sun hits your ascendant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
which is
that, yeah, go ahead, Mark, Ann.
well. The other thing to remember is because notice how little your Mercury has moved from natal. So you were born with a 29-degree Leo Mercury on the south node,
Mm-hmm.
and now Mercury's 14. So you've had 21 years of Mercury retrograde plus then going direct. So that can also give a sense that I feel like part of my life went backwards before it went forward. But now that Mercury got clipped by the eclipse on on September 7th, which was at 15 right on your Mercury, whatever came in then and said, "Hey Kim, you want to try this?" Watch for those, as Mark said, those new invitations coming in, because the eclipse was on the ruler of your midheaven and the ruler of your work, your sixth house, and your relationship to other people. So that's going
Mm-hmm.
to bring
Mm-hmm.
in people, that are part of you as you have your nodal return that we have at 19 and at 38, and now you're having it. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of new people coming in, which will be part of your next 19-year cycle.
There's so many signs of coming back to life in
Mm-hmm.
this chart
Yeah.
that, Saturn and Neptune will be moving into a trine with your Sun Mars conjunction over the next year or two. Uranus, when about 3 years ago, your progressed Sun conjunct Pluto, and now it's moving towards Uranus, kind of like that's often feels like the death and rebirth. You had when you were born the first 23 years, your progressed Sun was in Leo. Then did 30 years of hard karma slogging in Virgo, and is now coming back into for the next 30 years. Your progressed Sun in Libra will be much more comfortable with your Sun.
Much more happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Your Moon might need a little nurturing now, but your Sun and your Ascendant, your basic personality reaching out to the world will have a lot more room. Like now, it's your team is moving forward.
Yep.
So let's go back to Thanksgiving. And Mark, would you like to close with a Thanksgiving thoughts
Yeah,
meditation?
take a look at your chart. See where this Saturn is lining up with your chart. You can see the where it's stationing and see what planets it aspects. It might conjunct something, it might trine something,
Hmm.
might oppose something. Take a look and then figure that on Thanksgiving Day, that transiting Saturn is standing still and delivering a message. And
Hmm.
that message comes right to you in whatever planets it aspects.
Yeah.
So take a moment and see how am I going to receive that message from Saturn? Who do I filter it through? And you may see parts of your life that are aspected, or you might see people around you. Saturn might trine Venus, and that message is something to do with Venus for you and whoever's playing Venus for the day on Thanksgiving Day. So just be aware of Saturn and see if you can come up with a story
Mm-hmm.
among the people around you.
Wonderful. Um, I wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. In our household, we don't think of it as going back to the first Thanksgiving, but as a traditional harvest festival, which has been happening
Mhm.
in lives all over the world.
Mhm.
So honor, have a happy harvest festival, happy Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
the Sagittarian holiday where we actually try to remember what we're thankful for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you? And so this is Heather Rowan Robbins saying goodbye from Montana. And Mark?
Mark Wolf saying goodbye from New York City and happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. And Anne saying goodbye from Florida, Ann Ortley, and encouraging everybody to practice gratitude. Look at your Leo house, what brings you joy, and focus on the joy, because that's really the best way to get through the energy we're working with right now.
Okay,
What
thank
makes
you.
you happy? Bye.
Okay.